So right now, Silicon Valley is being shaken to its core. And it's not just one thing, it's a war on two fronts. You've got this massive crisis exploding inside one of the most secretive companies on the planet, and at the exact same time, there's this shadow threat out there taking their greatest inventions and turning them into weapons. Let's get right into it.
For as long as I can remember, Apple has been this untouchable fortress, right? Built on secrecy, total control over everything. Well, that fortress, it's starting to crumble. We're seeing cracks appear everywhere. The company that basically wrote the book on controlling its own destiny is now dealing with this insane brain drain, and it's exposing some really deep problems with their whole strategy.
Okay, so you really have to think of this as two stories happening at once. Inside the walls of Apple, you've got this civil war for talent, a real battle for the best minds. But on the outside, something way more sinister is brewing. The amazing tools these companies are creating are literally being turned into weapons. And here's the kicker. The chaos inside the company is basically leaving the front door wide open for the threat that's waiting outside.
All right, let's start with what's happening inside that fortress. Let's talk about the first front in this war, this massive AI exodus that is absolutely crippling Apple's future. And look, this is not just a few people leaving for a better job. No way. This is a full-blown crisis of confidence. People on the inside are saying that Apple's whole strategy, outsourcing major AI features to competitors like Google, has just completely destroyed morale. It's pushing their best and brightest right out the door.
And when you look at who's leaving, wow. It's the sheer seniority of these folks. We're not talking about junior engineers here. These are team leads, top-tier researchers, key executives from the Siri team, from the core foundation models teams. These are the exact people who are supposed to be building Apple's AI future. And they're not just quitting. They're walking right across the street to the competition at Meta and Google.
So to really get a sense of the stakes here, you just have to follow the money. Look at this number. $200 million. What on earth does a number like that even mean in Silicon Valley today?
Well, that's reportedly the price tag on the compensation package Meta threw at Ruoming Pang, the guy who is leading Apple's core AI models team. This isn't just hiring someone, this is a declaration of war, and the weapons are nine-figure paychecks. And this right here, this chart really paints the picture. If you look at just 47 of the most important people who've left, you can see exactly where they're ending up. OpenAI, Google, they're grabbing the most, but Meta and Anthropic are right behind them. Apple is literally hemorrhaging its top talent to every single one of its biggest rivals in the AI space.
And this comment I saw online, it just perfectly sums up the mood. This is what people in the developer community are thinking and saying. If you're a top mind in AI, Apple just doesn't seem like the place you want to be right now. The perception has completely shifted.
Okay, so while all that chaos is happening inside Apple, let's pivot to that second front I mentioned. Because outside those crumbling walls, a different kind of threat, a shadow network, is growing. This is the story of how open source AI gets hijacked. And this story starts with a number, 175,000. And no, that's not a salary. Think of it as 175,000 unlocked doors, just sitting wide open, leading straight to the future of AI.
So a huge new report just dropped from the cybersecurity experts at SentinelOne and Census, and what they found is just staggering. That's the number of private AI servers running in businesses, sometimes even in people's homes, that have been accidentally left exposed to the entire internet, totally unprotected.
So you might be wondering, how does this even happen? Well, it's actually pretty simple. People are using these great open source tools like Ollama to run really powerful AI models, like Meta's Llama, on their own computers. But it turns out, one tiny mistake in the setup, a simple configuration change, can expose that entire system to the web. And get this, over half of them are running from people's home internet connections. What that creates is this giant, untraceable, unmonitored network of raw computing power that's just out there for the taking.
And what this means is that the game has completely changed for cybercriminals. They figured something out. Why spend all the time and effort trying to build your own malicious AI from scratch? It's way easier to just hijack the billions of dollars of research and development that big tech has already poured into their models. It's like they don't have to build the gun anymore. They just find an unlocked one and start selling the bullets.
So what are these bullets? Well, right now, these hijacked AIs are being used to automate massive phishing scams, pump out disinformation on a huge scale, and even steal sensitive corporate data. And the criminals have even productized it. They're offering something called jailbreak as a service. Basically, they take a good, powerful AI model, surgically remove all the safety features, and then sell access to this new, uncensored, and totally malicious version.
So this all leads to a really important question, right? How is it so easy to take a helpful AI and turn it into a dangerous weapon? Well, the answer comes down to this idea that researchers are calling the safety gap.
The easiest way to think about it is like this. You have the safe version of an AI that a company releases to you and me. But then, there's what that AI could actually do if you took all the chains off. That difference, that's the safety gap. It's basically a measurement of how much dangerous potential is hiding just under the surface of these models.
And the scary thing is, exploiting that gap, it's shockingly simple. All an attacker has to do is download a public model, feed it just a tiny little bit of new, harmful data to retrain it, and boom, just like that, they've unlocked all the dangerous knowledge that the original developers tried so hard to lock away. And you can see the results right here. It's just dramatic. Your standard out-of-the-box model will say no to most harmful requests. But after just a little bit of this malicious tweaking, its willingness to just go along with those dangerous commands, it goes through the roof. The safety guardrails don't just get a little weaker, they completely shatter.
But here is the single most alarming part of this whole thing. Researchers are finding that as these AI models get bigger and smarter, that safety gap, it gets wider. The more powerful we make these things, the more dangerous they become when someone figures out how to take the safety features off.
So let's bring these two stories back together. You've got the civil war happening inside the tech giants, and you've got this shadow war happening outside. When you put them side by side, you start to see the real devastating fallout of this exact moment we're in. On one hand, what do we have? We have the most brilliant minds of our time locked in this internal battle, fighting each other for talent, for bragging rights, and for these absolutely insane 9-figure salaries.
And on the other hand, you have this growing criminal ecosystem that is taking the very things those brilliant minds are creating and turning them into weapons with terrifying efficiency.
So that leaves us with one final, really critical question. In this frantic race for AI supremacy, with all the big tech companies fighting tooth and nail, who's actually winning? Because the really scary answer might just be, it's the bad guys. The ones in the shadows who are quietly weaponizing these billion-dollar creations while everyone else is distracted.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next video.